Took our first aid kit and survival bag are all in the aft baggage compartment. Fire extinguishers up here underneath the front of my the co-pilot seat. And we got headset gear for everybody. Save yours so you have some gear left when we get there.
So when you're going to go hunt sheep, you start out in the lower 48 or anywhere in the world. You're going to leave on a really big plane and get to Anchorage, Alaska. From that point on, your planes are going to continually get smaller until you get to your final destination and your sheep camp. And at that point in time, it's going to be all on your back. So you're going to overnight in Alaska, in Anchorage. What I do recommend is that you get there one full day before you have to depart. And what this allows to happen is if the airlines messes up on your baggage, your gun goes somewhere else, you're not burning hunt days. Plan on getting to Anchorage a day or 2 days before, get your luggage there, get everything settled in, and then you're going to get on smaller planes from there on out. When you depart Anchorage, weather allowing, and you're going to leave, you're going to go into the Alaska range on a larger size plane like a Beaver on tires like we did. You're going to fly a couple of hours into the Alaska range as a staging point, logistics and everything set up. You should have a cub there, and that cub is going to take you into an area where Scott or the guide has already determined that there's shooter sheep in there. You're not burning days of your hunt anymore. So he's going to get you into there, and then you've got 9 or 10 days of nothing but pure pristine mountain climbing and trying to find a big monster sheep to put your tag on. Hi, I'm Mike Deming, host of Sportsmans News Television. On this episode, we're in Alaska with Scott McCrae and Alaska Summit guys. We're up here to Dall sheep hunt. This guy is known for killing some whopper sheep up here in the Alaska range. Last year he killed a couple over 40, which is a magical number, big bases. And I'm up here with Jeremy Sage from Sportsman's Warehouse. He's never killed a sheep before. I've got a couple under my belt here, Dall sheep up here in Alaska. So we're going to see what we can find, see if we can put a couple of big sheep on the ground. We've been really weather delayed up here with getting here. I mean, literally 3 extra days of our 10-day hunt burnt just getting into camp due to weather-related stuff and logistics. I mean, we're a long way from Anchorage, and when you come to do this, you just got to be patient, be prepared for weather, be prepared for issues, and make the most of the days you got here.
What'd you say, Mike?
You gonna shoot too?
Just one, hopefully.
Okay. Stay right where you're at. Right for wind. Well, Scott McCrae is the owner-operator of our Alaska Summit Guides. He's been in the guiding and outfitting business for well over 30 years, and there's not anything in Alaska that he doesn't know how to go after. Whether you're hunting in the Alaska range where he does most of his sheep hunts, or you're hunting down by Cordova where he does a lot of his brown bear and goat hunts, this guy's covered just about every inch of the terrain in his unit, and he knows where these animals like to live and hunt and hang out. So when you show up, this guy's got just about everything you can possibly imagine in camp to have a comfortable backcountry camp and be safe and be well taken care of when you're there. What you as a hunter need to do is you need to show up in shape and have the ability to shoot extremely well. He's going to do his job. He's done his best to make sure that his team of guides and outfitters has done a really good job of making sure they know what they're doing as well. And we've had a tremendous experience each and every time we've been up here with Scott. He knows what he's doing, and he's truly one of the best in the business. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. You must be John.
Oh my
You get any visitors in here occasionally?
Only thing visitor I've got, I had a black bear come in and hit my tent, but that's it.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. I've seen black bear, on the hillsides, and you'll see them moving along here. And seen a grizzly walk down through the riverbed. We were up there one time, but not really hit the camp.
Yeah. So how long have you been hunting this area right here?
This area, 14, 15 years.
Okay.
Spent the beginning in the Chugach,
Yeah.
hunting over there.
So you've kind of watched rams grow up here.
Yeah, you can keep an eye on them, but they're constantly moving and
They're
changing.
pretty
so,
nomadic.
Yeah, I mean they don't just stay on one mountain like a typical goat will stay in one. Get on one mountain, they just don't leave.
Yeah.
Unless they're chasing nannies. So.
Gotcha.
But the sheep, man, they can be anywhere.
Okay.
They can be anywhere. They got summer and winter range.
We requested the hunt with no rain.
Oh. Well, you didn't write that in the contract.
No, it is.
That's an upcharge. Okay. Yes. You will have river and stream crossings up here. We supply a river crossing wader that can just get you across and then pull them off and then stash them in the bushes or haul them with you if you're going to have multiple times where you're crossing back and forth. If you're bringing a leather boot, it works really well for this to get back and forth. I prefer the plastics myself. Doing multiple hunts, it's the only thing that really, will handle 3 sheep hunts and goat hunts over the season. But either way, you can get across without much trouble with these. So what we're going to eat when you're out in the field is basically oatmeal, a few mornings while you're here, over a 10-day period. And then I usually try and substitute with like an egg and, a freeze-dried egg in the morning also. And then your main meal will be a freeze-dried meal every night that you're there. And then, lunch will consist of snack bars, M&Ms, peanuts, maybe a protein bar, and then maybe some cheese and sausage or something like that. Or, if you're around camp, you can do a top ramen or something like that. Just on your down days when it's raining or it's fogged in or something like that. On some of the hunts, you get that typically on a sheep hunt. But most of the moose hunts and things of that nature, you don't have too much of that.
So, Mr. Sage, tell me what you think. Your first sheep hunt?
So far, so good. Made it into camp, getting everything settled in, ready for the climb, hopefully.
You done a sheep hunt yourself personally?
I have not. It's the first one. Looking forward to it.
A long time coming.
Yes, sir.
What say you there, guide?
4 to the left.
I say we see one that looks pretty good. That's legal. But that's it so far out of that bunch.
I think it's a big part of being successful on the trip is how you prepare. I dress in layers. We've encountered temperatures anywhere from probably the mid 60s down into the upper 30s maybe. When you get that moisture in there, you got to be able to layer, because it feels a lot colder when the wind's blowing 20 and there's a bunch of humidity and some rain falling. So being able to strip layers off when you're going uphill and then put them back on when you go to set up and glass for maybe an hour in that wind. You know, you got to be able to layer up to keep that body core temperature warm. You don't want to get cold up there on the side of the mountain and start shaking and shivering and having all that bad things happen to you. So the ability to stay light but layer up when you get up on top of the mountain or when the weather turns wet, having quality rain gear. You know, there's always a question of, do I go super light with my rain gear or maybe a little bit heavier? I chose to go with a little bit more durable rain gear, just because there's always a chance in Alaska spending a lot of your hunt in your rain gear. That's a personal choice. That's just a choice that I made.
Well, it took a few days to get here to destination sheep base camp. We've seen some rams, but weather delayed us getting out by multiple days. Out here, we went out yesterday, saw a couple of smaller rams. Nothing wanted to go after at the big ram that we're looking at. It seemed to be playing hide and seek. I went to get out of my tent yesterday, and lo and behold, tweaked my back getting out of here. Some cold water fell off there. It's been raining nonstop, and just made me tweak my back just a little bit. So needless to say, I'm having a hard time walking, let alone throwing on a 40-pound pack and getting to the top of the mountain right now. So I'm stretching every little bit, trying to get it loosened up so I can actually go up the mountain. Jeremy, Scott, and the packer Caleb are all out looking right now, and I'm working on stretching every few minutes, trying to get my back in order to where I can actually walk.
Farthest left. You got just a little bit of wind moving that grass. Right at his butt. Like a 5.
Stop.
Range.
You watching?
Yeah, I got him. Hit him. Hind quarter.
Wait a minute, I think you hit him.
Yeah, in the hind quarter.
In the hind quarter?
Yep. Which one is he? He's the bottom of the 3.
Bottom of 3, just standing there.
You hit right at it, that rock right in front of him. Is it the same distance? Yep.
No, he's going down.
Coming down.
Let him go. Okay.
Which one is he?
He's standing all by himself, down low, the farthest one down.
Coming to the left.
Yep.
Same range. I'm getting it.
He's limping hard.
About to go down.
He might. He's laid down.
Just put the finishing shot on the ram we got up here, and there's a band of 9 rams in this basin. We got in here pretty tight on them with Scott McCrae from Alaska Summit Guide Service, and did a great job of working us around this rocky ridge. We could get a little better angle on them. They were down here in this pocket. There was 9 rams in there, and one real nice ram that gave us a nice broadside shot, and we put the hammer on him. So thanks to Scott and everything that he's done to get us in this position. It's been a great day. We've come all the way up out of the bottom from camp. We've been hiking up for about, well, it took us about 4 hours to hit the summit, and then we've just been working real slow along this ridge, checking all these little draws and basins for sheep. We've probably seen, I don't know, 10 or 15 lambs and ewes, and then we found this band of rams. So it worked out awesome. We're going to go down and get our hands on him. Groomed on one and has a link on the other. That's cool.
No, that's character there.
Yeah.
Groomed it hard too.
Yeah.
That's why I was given such a hard time. I was like, man, I just couldn't see it. It looked all dumped over.
All right, we just got down here after coming off the top of the ridge from where we shot, and recovered this awesome Dall sheep. He's broomed on his right side, got beautiful tips on his left. It's just awesome sheep. So here with Scott McCrae from Alaska Summit Guide Service. Scott, kind of tell us about how this sheep is for the type of hunting you do, and what people could expect if they come up and hunted with you.
This is, I mean, you can see by the video that it's some rough country, but it's doable, especially if you get in shape. You know, the ram's 9 years old or better, so that's typically what we take is 9 or better. That's been our average lately.
These 9 rams today, we looked
Yep.
at 2-3 more rams this morning.
Yep.
On another face.
Another face.
And then we were looking for 2 rams behind camp, but the wind was never right for us to get up in there. So
Yep.
I mean, we've looked at a lot of sheep, but just a lot of
we've
rams.
seen the 4 over there across the valley.
Across the valley. So there's definitely a healthy population of sheep here. Great trip, everybody.
It's all worth it.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
Oh, you're welcome. And I want to say something for Connor, Cole, and Ian. Thank you guys for putting up with Dad being gone, and sooner or later you guys are going to be here too. And thanks for hanging on for Dad while I'm gone. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Well, great trip here in Alaska with Scott McCrae and Alaska Summit Guides. Jeremy Sage killed a phenomenal ram up here. You guys are going to be happy to know that we are giving away this exact trip. We're going to do this September 10th, 2017 for a hunt in 2018. And as long as Scott's going to have us, we're going to buy this trip each and every year. So start training now for sheep hunting, because you may be our next lucky winner here at the Sportsman's News Pro Membership Sweepstakes. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Tune in next month. We'll have another great show for you.